Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Headbangers Closet. So this video is just going to be my review of the, I guess it's a somewhat of a ripoff for VK at the Zepro channel. His series, The Album and the Show. Basically, it's the Metallica 72 Seasons tour. Alright, here we go. We got 72 Seasons right here. So it's the Metallica 72 Seasons tour is basically like summer number 3 of the M72 Seasons World Tour. I went to the show this past Tuesday in Atlanta, kind of a hometown show for me, a super cool show. I was looking forward to it, so I kind of want to go over a little bit about that show and some stuff that happened, and then kind of show you the merch I got from it. I mean, it's Headbangers Closet, it's the name of the channel. I don't just collect vinyl. I collect a lot of other stuff too, especially Metallica. So let's get right to it. So, you know, got Tuesday off of work, so some friends I travel with to all these shows. They've been on every show on the tour. And they stopped over on Sunday, spent the night with me. And then Monday night after work, we all drove up to Atlanta, kind of hung out with some friends. Shakira was playing in the basketball arena where the Atlanta Hawks play the night before. So we're all out having a couple of beers. And then all the Shakira fans came out after the show, which I thought was kind of funny to see all them dressed up. I'm sure they would have said the same about us had they been drinking beer and hanging out at an outside bar while we all these metalheads walked by. But it was still pretty funny nonetheless. So anyway, day of the show comes up, and I just have regular GA. I always buy regular GAs if I can, and I kind of let, you know, Metal Karma take take hold and see if I can get into Snake Pit. I've been fortunate enough, ever since Metallica brought back the Snake Pit, I've been in it maybe like, 8 or 9 times, so really thankful for that. But for this show in Atlanta, I was given the opportunity because I didn't have a Snake Pit ticket, and you can only win once per calendar year, and I won for Nashville, night 1 in Nashville in May. I won for night 1. I got 2 Snake Pit passes. I got to see the first Nashville show from the Snake Pit. But for this one, I really wanted a Snake Pit, couldn't afford it on the secondary market, so I decided to kind of work, I guess somewhat for the band, if you will, giving out the fan cards. These are the fan cards. This is an old one, but essentially you get these cards when you walk, through the gates after you show your ticket. You just kind of peel off this thing right here. Like I said, this is an old one, but you scan the barcode, and this is not a winner if anyone wants to try to scan it, but I've gotten a handful of these every show except for this one because I was giving them out. I didn't want to keep any. And the faster I got rid of them all, the faster we could go in the stadium. So that was kind of a motivator. But anyway, these are the fan cards. You scan it. You can either win a Snake Pit, a signed skate deck, a signed vinyl, signed guitars, all sorts of stuff. So I handed these out. And I handed out 3 boxes, and there were 1,000 cards per box. It was me and a handful of other people. I think it were 9 of us doing the handing out of the fan cards. So we actually got in to the show. We had to meet at 2:30 we went in, and we actually got to eat at the catering, which was pretty cool. A lot of the crew guys were in there eating, but we ate lunch at catering. The person kind of in charge of us was like, if you see like a celebrity, there's a lot of celebrities on this tour, just don't, scream out. Be quiet, be cool, and you can ask for a photo. And she said mainly they were like actors and actresses and athletes that would be backstage prior to the show. Guests of any of the 3 bands playing that night, which were Suicidal Tendencies, Pantera, and Metallica. So then after that, we kind of got to go get a tour of like the road cases and all that jazz. And then we got to see the stage set up where there was nobody on the floor. It was just the stage and then the towers that were lit up. So that was pretty cool. Got our picture. Then they gave us the boxes of cards. They stationed us at the gates, and when people came through, we just handed them out the cards. So in return for that, we got a Snake Pit pass. Now, usually, she said, regardless of whether you give them out or not, they'll come get you about 7:30. You get down to the floor and in the Snake Pit about 8 as Pantera is ending, so you don't get to see Pantera or Suicidal Tendencies. But you're in there for about 45 minutes before Metallica takes the stage. So I kind of took it upon myself, as did a few other people, to kind of give these damn cards out as fast as possible so we can see Pantera. And we did. We got rid of all the cards by like 20 past 7. She gave us the Snake Pit passes. Here they are. This one's orange. It says 25, 26. But Snake Pit M72. That's my Snake Pit pass. We go down, and I caught, I would say, 80 to 90% of Pantera set, which is awesome. So Pantera ends, and probably one of the coolest moments of the night happens. So if you've been to Metallica, you might know the song by AC/DC, Long Way to the Top, If You Want to Rock and Roll, starts. And then when that ends, Ecstasy of Gold comes on, then Metallica comes on. So while the Long Way for the Top, If You Want to Rock and Roll from AC/DC is playing, they're showing a lot of pictures of fans from past shows on the Jumbotron. And I'm assuming there were past shows in Atlanta. And anyway, picture of me came on there with me and two buddies showing our Metallica tattoos, doing this, and we got a picture taken by the photographer. It was on Metallica's website. It still is all these years later. It was from 2004 from the St. Anger tour. It was the one stop in Atlanta they did, and that was on the big screen for like 30 seconds, and people, I'm in the snake pit, so people are like, Brett, that's you, check it out. Back when you were young and had hair and no glasses, and then people were kind of texting me. So that was kind of cool. I saw it, I was like in awe, I was like super shocked, I was like really excited that, picture of me is on the Jumbotron, right? That big tower screen thing's not really a Jumbotron. Anyway, some friends of mine got photos of that and then, sent it to me. So if you want to see that photo, it's on Instagram. I actually used to have many copies of that photo, and I can't find it. I wanted to kind of show it here on this video, but I can't find it. So, but if you want to see it, check out my Instagram, Headbangers Closet. It's just a picture of me and two buddies of mine that actually met that day at that Metallica show. They were complete strangers to me, but we're on the rail in the front from Metallica, and the photographer came around, said, let me see all you guys' tattoos. We like showed our tattoos, like this, yeah, showing it. And I actually got a drumstick from Lars later in the evening for that, but that's another story for another day. Anyway, let's kind of get to the merch. So they had the pop-up store. I think that's a great idea. Like, I would love that idea. I would think it's probably the best idea for bands to do if they didn't sell different merch at the show. That's kind of like, they get you that way, right? You want to collect it. People like me, collector scum, they get you that way. But what was cool is that the European company, Probity Merch, basically has more shirts in the pop-up store than the American pop-up, and they're splitting cities this year, so it was Probity Merch. So what was cool is I got the tour shirt. I actually wore it the other day. But anyway, so here's the main tour shirt, right? And then on the back, there's the lyrics, some lyrics, and then the dates, right? So that was cool. So I was like, all right, I don't have to get that at the show. That's like, kind of like a little bit of a stress reliever. I don't have to wait in freaking line at the stupid merch booth. But that was pretty cool. So the next thing I picked up was the pop-up store poster. If you guys aren't familiar, the pop-up store has a poster and a t-shirt of the poster that you can only get at the pop-up store. For the most part, everything's kind of limited. So here's the pop-up store, and there's a Mercedes-Benz Dome. That's what they're playing in Atlanta right there. So there's like these zombie creatures. And then there they are coming into the dome. And there it is, says June 3rd, 2025 on the back. So pretty cool. And then the poster is the exact same thing. They're all limited, but for some reason they had tons of shirts available. And out of 300 posters, they only put out, I think, 200. So there's 100 left somewhere. Normally they put out, like, each day, they put out X amount, and when they're sold out, they're sold out. You got to come back the next day till they're all gone. This was different. Kind of got screwed, didn't get a poster, but I do have the pop-up vinyl for trade. A buddy of mine got me this, and then I actually bought one of my own because I have another friend that wanted one, and he didn't need it. But this is the 72 Seasons pop-up store exclusive. It's the Atlanta one. It's black, red, and white splatter. Go check out Metallica's website if you want to see what it actually looks like, but it's just a splattered vinyl, black, red, and white for the Atlanta Falcons colors. Wherever they're playing, the colors of the vinyl are in the colors of the sports team that plays in that stadium. So it's the Falcons. But that's the pop-up exclusive vinyl. The pop-up shirt, didn't get the poster, so hopefully I can do a trade. So next shirt I got was this one. This is pretty cool. I've not seen this one, and I was kind of told it was, again, the European merch Probity exclusive. Just kind of like a Cthulhu-looking bat thing right there, which is kind of cool. And then it's got these dates for the U.S. and Canadian North American tour this summer on the back. So that's pretty cool. I haven't seen that one before, so definitely liked it and picked it up. So go into the show, because I'm handing out the cards, I'm not going to get the show poster or the t-shirt. So I'm going to be going in there, like I said, I went in there maybe like 20 past 7, 7:30. Poster sold out, right? So luckily for me, the friends I was with, Jason and Val, I was staying with them. They were the ones who came down and stayed with me, stayed with them in the hotel. They've got the black ticket, so they go in super early, like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So they hooked me up. I paid them the money. They got me the t-shirt and the poster. So here's the event t-shirt from Atlanta. Was able to pick this up. Pretty cool. Kind of like the Angel of Death, I guess you'd say. And then on the back, just, Metallica, and then the dates. And then the poster is basically the same thing. Kind of scooch back here. Got the poster. Pretty cool. I mean, it's not my favorite poster by a long shot, but I tried to get the poster of the shows I was at, especially Atlanta being a hometown show. I didn't get any of the 2 Nashville posters. Really didn't like them, and also, you don't want to wait in the freaking merch line all day when you can kind of hang out. I'm a GA pretty much all the time. Like I said earlier, roll the dice with the snake pit. So I don't even enter the stadium when the doors open. I might go in around 5:30. Doors open at 4. I might go in maybe a little before 5 to 5:30 in that range, just kind of hanging out. So I really don't want to wait in line. So it was great to have Jason and Val hook me up and show you some of the artwork I got because they were able to hook me up. Jason is a very good artist. And he decided to draw on my poster tube and hand it to me. And it's a giant penis. Everybody had a good laugh. All my friends, that were there had a good laugh. I don't care. I do air guitar, right? When I'm in the shows and sing along. So, yeah, I was playing air guitar on the poster tube that had the giant penis on it. Got a lot of looks from people. Got people, random strangers, as well as friends were taking pictures of me just air guitar into Creeping Death, Cyanide. Day That Never Comes, all the songs they were playing with my giant penis poster tube. But, pretty cool, funny story to kind of remember that show by. And, got the guitar pick from the show. Just says M72 Atlanta, June 3rd, 2025, right there. And then on the back, it's just got the Peachtree Street, West Peachtree Street. So that was pretty cool. Steve over at Harmless Rebel was at the show. I did not see him, unfortunately. I would have loved to be able to meet up with him. That's kind of the drawback of having to hand out the cards. If I'm just going in with a GA and I already kind of have Snake Pit lined up, I'll go in, like I said, about 5 to 5:30. You grab a few beers, hang out by soundboard, kind of meet up with everybody that's on the floor, say hello, hang out for a while before people kind of go to their spots on the rail or in the Snake Pit or whatnot. So unfortunately, I didn't get to see him, but he has some killer videos. And I guess to kind of close out the video of just, Metallica in Atlanta, and they've only got a handful of shows left on this tour. If you can go, I recommend it. I know some people that might be watching this might be like, they need to retire, but they do sound good still. They do put on a good show. If they're doing the 2 nights, you get no repeat weekend, which I like better because you just get more songs. They throw in some deep cuts. On these 1 nights, it's kind of like a greatest hits, but still a pretty cool set list. I was able to grab a good buddy Glenn. Thanks, buddy. Handed me the set list for the show. He knows, it's my hometown. He knew how much that would mean to me. So, Glenn, appreciate that, my friend. Hooked him up with the set list. So, you got Creeping Death, Whom the Bell Tolls, Cyanide, which is kind of a treat. Then King Nothing, Lux Eterna, Darkness, If Darkness Had a Sun. The Day That Never Comes, Fuel, Orion, which sounded amazing. I was actually right in front of the band. They all get together when they do Orion. Was right in front of them, right almost at the rail of the inside the Snake Pit. Had a great vantage point for them. Just watching them play Orion was awesome. Then they go into Nothing Else Matters, Sad But True, One, Seek and Destroy, Puppets, and of course they close with Enter Sandman. Amazing show. Had a blast in the Snake Pit with friends. Just great show. If you're in the Snake Pit, there's really no better way to see a show, in my opinion. Kind of when you go in there, you don't want to sit anywhere else. But it's just great experience. And I've been to the shows just being on the floor by the soundboard, or during the show, you can walk around the stage and kind of find different spots. The band moves around, and Lars, it shows it on this. He has 4 different drum kits, and they kind of come up at different points in the show. So each section of the stadium gets Lars close to them, and when you're in the pit, really, or anywhere, the people kind of clump by the drum kit. So what I try to do is I try to go somewhere else, and it'll be like James or Kirk or Rob rather will come to that side and stand there for a while. You get a good shot. and watch them play while everyone's kind of like hanging out by the drum kit. So that's kind of one thing to do if you plan on going to one of the shows left on this tour. But amazing show. They deliver every time. That was my 98th Metallica show. Going to Houston next Saturday to see them for 99. And fingers crossed, the wife lets me do Dublin next June for 100 and 101. Kind of have my doubts she's gonna let that happen, so we'll see when I get to 100. But great, great show. My favorite band. You guys have been watching my channel for a long enough time. You know I love tons of bands, Metallica being number one. But amazing show. Glad to get this merch because I am a collector scum. Can't have enough Metallica posters or t-shirts, right? So anyway, appreciate you guys checking out the channel and kind of like hearing my merch haul from the Metallica show. I'll get back to the normally scheduled stuff, which is showing records and telling stories on this channel very soon. And also, by the way, before I forget, big congratulations to George's Room of Rock. 1,000 subscribers, man. Super happy for you, dude. That's awesome. I will be doing your contest here very soon. Might have to wait till I get back from Houston, but I'll definitely be doing that. So cheers, buddy. That's an awesome accomplishment. Super stoked for you. So yeah, appreciate you guys checking out the channel. And like I said, I'll be back to my regularly scheduled programming next video. Cheers, everybody. Have a great weekend.